little more than a month ago, I bought another company. In this video, I'll show you how I managed to double the revenue in the first 30 days. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Eli. I own multiple businesses at the age of 22, and my current obsession is building a $50 million home service business and documenting the process online. As I mentioned, I bought a plumbing company a little bit more than a month ago. I know nothing about plumbing. I've never run a home service business. I know nothing about the trades, but I did manage to double the sales in the first month. And I'll break down the few kind of key changes I did and what led to that. So every business, I don't care whether you're a floral shop, a veterinary practice, or in my case, a plumbing company, they all have a sales process, right? Every business needs sales, so by definition, there's a sales process. So before I made any changes in the business, I wanted to at least take the opportunity to observe what the current sales process is like. So the first few days that I owned the business, I didn't even do much office work. I just went out in the field with the guys. I went out with the technicians and I just tried to see with my own eyes what they were doing in the homes. And I was quite alarmed with some of the stuff I saw. We would have technicians that would go out, take a full inspection of a system, and then leave and email the customer a quote after the fact. Or if the few times I was in the office, I heard people give pricing over the phone. You don't want to do that. The most difficult thing in this business is being invited to a customer's house, right? And especially in sales, you have a saying, you want to strike while the iron's hot. You want to go out to a customer's house and you want to make a sale in that moment. You don't want to leave and then email them. And you certainly don't want to give them a price over the phone, because the first thing they're going to do is just hang up and call somebody else and price shop you. You're shooting yourself in the foot when you do that. Another thing I noticed is, and this is very common in the trades, because you might have an electrician or an HVAC tech or a plumber. They're excellent at the trades. So their natural propensity, if somebody calls them and says, my water heater's not working, they're going to go straight to the problem. They're going to immediately find the solution. And if it's either, oh, hey, this repair needs to be made, or, God forbid, you have to replace your system, they're so quick to just go in there 5-10 minutes. They kick the water heater, they look at it and say, yeah, you got to replace it. And they might be right, but the customer doesn't know that. And so if within the first 5 or 10 minutes, you go into a customer's house, you're still a stranger, and you tell them that they need to spend $10,000 to replace their air conditioner, you're probably going to be kicked out of that house and you're probably going to be price shopped. Versus the alternative, what I taught my guys to do, to slow down. You're not a salesperson. Don't give off the vibe that you're a salesperson. You're Mr. Fix-It Man. So what we're going to do is when we go to a customer's house, I don't care what it's for, plan to spend 60 minutes there, an hour and a half, if that, and take the opportunity to build your ticket, to build your case, and ultimately build your argument. If you know pretty confidently that an air conditioner or a water heater or whatever it may be has to be replaced, prove that to the customer. So even though you might be thinking you're wasting your time, take the opportunity to tear the system apart, completely open it up, take pictures, follow a process, run a checklist, inspect every aspect of the system, and build a ticket. Even if you know that the repairs are going to be uneconomical, right? And you sit there and you look at a 10, 15, 20-year-old air conditioner and you run up a $6,000 repair bill and you know that it doesn't make sense to do that, that's fine. This is how you prove to a customer that you need to fix it. Versus if you just went in there and kicked the air conditioner and said, yeah, you got to replace it, you'd be kicked out. Versus if the customer saw you, get your hands dirty, crawl into the attic, do everything you have to do to really show them, I'm sorry, sir, I did everything I can, and, I think we could fix this, but candidly, it's going to be really expensive. It'll be an $8,000 repair. And, this is a 20-year-old system. I can't promise you that these repairs are going to really last for a long time. But they trust you at that point because you're sweaty, you're dirty, you took the time to really kind of thoroughly look at their system. So then when you tell them, do you want to spend $8,000 on a repair, or do you want to shell out 15 and just buy a new system? They're probably going to go with the new system, and they'll probably not kick you out of the house because they have that trust with you. So that's one of the first things that we did, and that alone has been able to increase our conversion rate. Where we had opportunities where a customer might call on the phone and they say, I have an error code on my system, and immediately they know almost always they can't repair that code, so they would just tell the customer over the phone, oh, you got to replace it. They would never bought over the phone. Surprise, right? They would just hang up and call somebody else. And the smart companies will dispatch a technician out to the house and do exactly what I mentioned. They'd sit there, slow down, spend an hour, take the entire system apart and really show them, oh, I'm sorry, sir, I have terrible information for you. I can't repair this. Or if you do, it's going to be really expensive. Probably might be in your best interest to think about a replacement. Those are how you make sales. That was one of the first big things we did. We slowed down. We're Mr. Fix-It Man. I'm sorry, sir, I can't diagnose anything over the phone or through email. I have to personally put my hands on the system and take a look at it. And if we could fix it, we will. If not, we'll give you all the information that you need. And so slowing down, getting the customers home, fixing that sales process, super important. The second thing we did is we introduced financing. And a lot of people don't realize this, but 59% of Americans cannot afford an emergency $1,000 repair or expense in that matter for whatever it is. So if that's the case, if almost 60% of Americans can't afford a $1,000 emergency expense, how do you think most people are going to react when you go into a customer's house and you tell them, oh, you got to replace your air conditioner, it'll be $15,000. You're going to scare the shit out of them. They're going to say, I don't have the money, and you have to leave, and I have to think about it and stress all night about how am I going to get this done. So the first thing that we implemented, one of the first things I should say, is we introduced financing. Whenever we go to a customer's house and we present a price, we present it initially as a payment. Instead of saying, sir, your water heater is broken, it'll be $3,500, we tell them it'll be $189 a month. They will tell us if they want to pay cash. Because the reality of the situation is most people have to finance something like this. And the reason you want to lead with the payment is, even if you're at a wealthy guy's house, right? Nobody wants to spend money. So even if you're at a rich dude's house and you tell them it'll be a $15,000 repair, they're still going to balk, right? Nobody wants to spend that money. So even if you tell a wealthy guy, it'll be $15,000. Oh, but if you don't have the money, you could do payments. It'll be $300 a month. You're basically insulting the person. You're calling them poor. If you say, oh, it'll be $15,000. Yeah, we have financing if you want. I mean, that just comes across almost just really in a negative way, versus if you led with a payment. It's, oh, sir, we have great news. We can get your system replaced. We have a new unit in stock. I can get an install schedule tomorrow. We can get you in at $289 a month. Oh, that's good. It also automatically gets them thinking about payments, but they'll tell you. They'll say, well, what's the ticket price? I want to pay cash. They'll tell you the habit of presenting a minimum payment, because that's how you can convert more sales ultimately. Another thing too is when people finance, they spend more. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but that is a statistic. When people finance and they're only looking at things in terms of a payment, it's much easier to make an add-on sale. So when you're actually at the customer's house, they already committed to buying a new water heater for $100 a month. It's much easier to tell the customer, well, sir, I don't know if you know this, but for simply just $25 a month more, I could actually get you a water softener installed at the same time. And it's more economical since, the labor's not going to be as much since we're already working on that system, and it'll make your water heater last longer too, and all the other appliances in your house. So it's just $25 a month extra. Why don't we add this on? Oh, okay. It's much easier to tell people it's only $25 a month more versus saying, oh, that'll be an extra $2,000, $3,000. So people spend more. The average American needs to finance, and it just overall helps you with your sale conversion rate. And one of the last things, I do not understand at all why any business that employs people that generate revenue, why they don't pay them a commission. I don't understand that. If you have employees that are responsible for your sales, that are responsible for your revenue, and you pay them on an hourly basis or a flat salary or however you pay them, and you don't give them any type of performance pay or incenting them for generating revenue, what are you doing? When I came into this business, all the technicians were paid on a flat hourly basis, as low as $25 an hour or as high as $50 an hour. Nobody was getting paid commission. We also didn't sell a whole ton. One of the immediate things I did is I told people, I said, here, let's experiment for the first month. I'll pay you your hourly rate, or I'll pay you commission, whichever is greater. Let's just try it out for a few weeks. The reason I did this is because I don't want to just tell them from day one that, oh yeah, you're on commission here on out. They're probably going to be scared, and they'll probably quit on you because, first of all, you're messing with their pay, and also they haven't seen the money firsthand, so they don't really want to be paid on a commission basis. But I've told them I'll give you either or, whichever is greater. And after the first month, I can confidently say I don't think any of them want to go back to an hourly rate. And I'll give you an example that something actually just happened a week ago. At 9 o'clock at night, I got a phone call from a customer saying that they had no hot water. Again, I told him, and then he told me what the error code was, and when I called my technician, he said, oh, you can't fix it, you have to replace it. I still told the customer, we'll have to come out to your house, we'll do a full inspection, we'll be there first thing tomorrow morning. He said, okay. We got invited to the customer's house. We were Mr. Fix-It Man. We slowed down, we built the case, we took the system apart, and we explained to the customer why it didn't make sense to spend X many dollars on a repair of a 15-year-old system. So the guy elected to buy a new system. It was a $9,000 new tankless water heater. And this individual who did the install used to get paid 50 bucks an hour. So for an 8-hour shift, he would have made $400. So 8 hours for 400 bucks. In 4 hours, so half the time, that's what it took him to replace and install this new tankless system, he made $1,500. Infinitely greater return on his time. He made much more money. He made almost 4 times the amount he would normally make an entire day in half the amount. So again, it's like night and day. These guys are working harder. They want to take more calls. They're selling more. They're excited and have an incentive to sell. There's a reason our sales have popped and doubled in the first month, because if you look at it, our sales process, right? We were just telling people pricing over the phone. We don't do that anymore. We go to a customer's house. We run a process. We slow down. We build our case. When we present a price to a customer, we present a payment, and the guy who's actually incentivized to present all this to the customer is paid on a commission basis. So if we know deep down there's nothing unethical about this, we go out to a customer's house, we know their air conditioner or their water heater or whatever that may be, we know it has to be replaced. There's nothing wrong in incentivizing the customer to go with our company over the competitor. So that's why you want to pay somebody a commission. Because also another reason why I like commission is I don't really look at our technicians as employees. I look at them as partners. When somebody's paid on a commission basis, our interests are aligned. The company makes money and the employee makes money when we make a sale. It also helps us scale as well, because at that point it also weeds out low performers, because people that are paid on an hourly basis, they don't really have an incentive to sell. And one of the problems is, first of all, if you're paid on an hourly basis, I can guarantee you you're making less sales. And if you're not making any sales, we're still on the hook to pay you for your salary. So people who are paid on a commission basis, first of all, they sell more, but also it kind of weeds out the type of people that know they can perform. Because if you're a low performer and you know you're a low performer and you know you don't put in effort, you don't want to get paid on a commission basis, because you're not going to make any money, right? We don't want those people in our company. We want people that are young, hungry, aggressive, that are willing to ethically work as hard as they can to sell as much as they can and present options. And another reason for this as well, and part of the reason why I love commission is, again, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, technicians have a habit, a propensity of going straight to the problem, saying, oh, this needs to be fixed. But now that they're paid on a commission basis, they'll slow down, they inspect the entire system. And they say, sir, you have to replace this to get your system working. But I also recommend you fix this, this, and this, because I know it's going to go out shortly. And they build a larger ticket. And so I've seen average tickets go up. I've seen our margins improved. Our pricing has increased as well. I mean, just overall, these 3 things I did, fixing our sales process, we're Mr. Fix-It Man. We go to your house and we do a full inspection, presenting payments to customers, and putting the technicians on commission, which that alone, if I had to do anything, I would just pay them commission. That has caused our sales to pop. And so now looking forward, I'm thinking to myself, how could I increase this business by 10 times what it was before I took over? And now I just got to scale. Now I got to get more employees. Now I got to market more. And as I make mistakes and, maybe do some things that are right, I'm certainly going to document it on this channel. That's the whole point of why I'm doing this. And it's just exciting. I love doing this. And if you want to learn how to buy businesses, and potentially if you want to work with me and we could partner up, feel free to contact me in the video description. My contact info is out there, my email, my phone number. Call me. We'll talk. If you have an idea about a business, if you want to buy a business but don't know quite how to do it, whatever that may be, I'm still a small channel, so I'd like to be accessible. Feel free to contact me and we'll have a discussion. I've already met with people. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please click here to watch more. Again, being small, a like, comment, a sub goes a long way. And if there's anything that you'd like me to talk about in the future, please drop me a comment. Thank you.